Yes, hello. Welcome. It is your favorite podcast that still lacks a decent intro. It's your boy, Eduardo Jackson, creator, founder, and CEO of Cinema Draft, the game, your weekly obsession, the box office game of champions. It's where daily fantasy sports meets the movies, but instead of drafting athletes from teams, you are picking actors for movies, and how their movies perform at the North American box office gives you points to compete against others for cash prizes. That's right. There we go. All right, so we will get more into gameplay later, but I want to allow me to reintroduce yourself, our boy, long-standing podcast co-host, off in the wilderness, come back home into the fold, Peter Vo.
You already know. HOV. I couldn't help myself when you said allow myself to introduce myself.
Yes, right.
It's good to be back, man.
Yeah, what you been up to, Peter?
Um, you know, been not feeling too good, man. It's been like a month of just straight cold and rain out here, which like I like it in a way, but then also it starts to wear on you when it gets dark at 4, and like I'm going to work at like 8 o'clock in the morning. It's still dark, so it's like, oh man, it kind of sucks. But we're good, man. Playing some more Dungeons and Dragons, doing some fantasy football. Yeah,
and definitely helping us on our mobile rollout, right? We're still maybe a couple weeks away.
Yeah, no. Well, we're probably like a week away at this point. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. All right. Yeah. So all you guys who hollering at me, complaining that you can't update your thing from the thing at the thing, we feel you. We're working on it. We'll get it to you as soon as we can. We're the little startup that could. And also, I just wanted to give you guys fair warning. We may be joined later in progress, probably out of the blue, by our favorite burgeoning DFM pro, that's Daily Fantasy Movies Pro in training, Jay Devlin, the one and the only, the inaugural winner of the feature presentation. He will carry that to his grave. And since Peter is back, that must mean one thing. Our drinking game is back.
I got my drink, man.
He's got a head start. He's pre-gaming, y'all.
Well, it's my wife's birthday tonight, the big 2-8. Shout out to my lady. Love you.
Yes. Good job.
We both her, especially her, actually, she gets up for work at like 5 a.m. So she's in bed already. So, but I'm on my we had some celebratory rum and coke. So I'm on like number 4 at this point. So we're rolling.
A lit Pete is a fun Pete. All right, Peter. Good to hear. Get in there. Give us your Hillary shimmy. Ooh. Good stuff.
I'm with her.
Well, I am with Peter, and our drinking game is on again. It's lit once again, family. That's right. I just can't get enough of that cash register, damn it. All right, so now we're going into one of my favorite segments of the show, which is What I'm Watching. And I just recently came back from Santa Monica, California, where there was Investor Festival, which paired a bunch of startups with potential investors. We did a 1-minute pitch for Cinema Draft. I think we pretty much killed it. Pretty much everyone else told us we killed it. So we're pretty much got some feelers out there and everything, hoping someone will invest in this little startup that could. And after one of the days, we got done, and I actually couldn't find someone to hang with afterwards, which is kind of rare for me in LA because I lived there for 10 years and I know a whole bunch of people. Every time I come, I feel this big guilt about not being able to get up with people. So instead, since traffic was a bitch and I was kind of out there in Santa Monica, I looked around. Guess what? There was an ArcLight theater. ArcLights, if you're not familiar, over in the LA area are these fancy hoity-toity, super whatever expensive movie theater experiences in LA, and they were just so happened to be playing The Queen of Katwe. It was a Thursday. It most likely was going to be the last showing of The Queen of Katwe at that particular theater, if not in the entire west side of LA. So I decided, hell, take my dollars. I got some time to kill, trying to wait out traffic. Let me go check out The Queen of Katwe. And I must say, in this really chill environment in Santa Monica, where they have like the reclining everything, and you can get like a little beer and your wine or whatever, and take it to your seat and all that good stuff. I saw a really good Disney movie. It was good. I enjoyed it. It was heartwarming and also a little heart wrenching because anytime you're dealing with with like economic disparity among people, it's gonna tug at you a little bit. But it was really good. I enjoyed it. And of course I've got to say my favorite line, the tagline from the movie. It's because it's about chess and everything, and they're talking about like castling. The little move where the pawn turns into the queen or whatever, and she goes, the little girl who's just adorable and nervous the entire movie. She goes, "It's when the small one becomes the big one." Had to do it. Just feeling it. So that's what I was watching. Have you seen the Queen of Katwe, Peter? Has it reached Pullman and the Palouse yet?
I don't think Pullman's got it actually, but I don't know. I definitely haven't seen it, but I want to.
It's fun. If you ever have kids, it's something you might want to rent on the old, I was going to say VHS. God, I'm old. On the old digital download?
Wow.
Something like that. Yes, he's
Wow,
old.
VHS. No, I grew up with VHS.
Just barely, though. Just barely. And you weren't missing much. Poor video quality. And so the other thing I'm watching is I saw Real Sports the other day. And it's Real Sports is cool. It's kind of something I have on the background while I'm working. But this one was about like, so Peter, are you familiar with that picture, the portrait in 1968 at the Olympics in Mexico City? The two brothers who won like some sprinting thing, 1 and 2, and then they raise their fists with the black gloves on like that. Actually,
I mean, come on. I mean, like let's be real here. Of course I am.
All right, my bad. You check my ignorance. So I think
saying, it's like one of the most iconic pictures of all time.
Oh, absolutely. And so, but there's a secondary story to it which I never really heard about. Like, actually, it's little known, to be honest, for most people here in the United States, about the third guy. So the white dude on the podium in third place, an Australian guy named Peter Norman, he actually had this really interesting turn of events from just being on that stage, because as it turns out, all 3 of them wore these buttons that said like the Olympic Human Rights Committee or Progress Human Rights Committee or something like that. And just for wearing that single button and showing solidarity, even though he didn't raise his fist, he showed solidarity with the brothers up on the stand just by wearing the button, and he lost his entire track career after that. Like next cycle of Olympics, they passed him up. When they came, I mean, they just totally it's almost like they wrote him out of the record books in Australia. It's messed up. So that was really fascinating. Real Sports. I highly recommend it. It's the one that came out on Tuesday. Last Tuesday, sorry. Bryant Gumbel, keep doing your thing. That was really good. That's really good. And of course, Atlanta. I mean, it goes without saying. I'm gonna do a sad trombone here, because tonight was Atlanta's season finale, and I just don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm like shedding real tears here. That was an excellent episode, of course. An excellent season. Only 8 episodes. I miss it like I miss a high school girlfriend. Man, I am gonna miss that show. It is awesome. Have you seen Atlanta yet, Peter?
No, I haven't watched Atlanta yet. I know, I'm out of the loop.
Man. I mean, it's only 8 episodes or half an hour. Binge it this weekend. I mean, you'll be like, that was lit AF.
But yeah, no, I don't know how you find the time to watch the amount of stuff that you do, because I feel like I'm like underwater with like all the books I'm reading, like the game, like the Xbox games I'm playing, the movies and TV I want, like, and you watch probably 5 times the shit I do. So I don't know how you do it, man. I really don't.
Well, that's because you read, and I actually am so jealous. But every time, stop texting me or IMing shit you're reading. All right, it makes me jealous as hell. I'm an author, damn it. I've got like 3 published novels and shit, and I don't even have time to read. It's annoying. I was actually listening to a podcast today, actually John Grisham's first podcast ever. And, that John Grisham's my dude. Little known fact about me, early on in my writing career in like junior high and high school, I used to devour John Grisham's books. I tried patterning my writing style somewhat after his, as far as like how he's really swift with the plot and everything. And so he's talking about like his new stuff, and my first impulse is just to go to Amazon and buy it, or go out to Walmart and get it. And I actually have to check myself because I am busy trying to run Cinema Draft. This is a beast. I mean, that's why we need investors' help. I'm gonna shake my little digital hat again. I mean, that's why we're going out to investors, because we need resource, we need help. So I can get back to reading at least a little bit, so I can feel like the educated brother I like to think I am, and not let Peter read everything under the sun and tell me about it. I'm very jealous, Peter. How do you find the time?
Well, that's like I'm kind of well. So here's the thing: is I feel like you're a published author and all that, and like you got a couple of years on me. I'm like just now coming into my own in terms of like the literary world. Like I'm reading like I've never read before, and that's kind of like for the past like 10 years or so. I've been working on just like working on tech skills and like being like all the learning and reading that I've done over the last like 7, 8, 9 years has been focused on like the technical realm of things to kind of help my career and all that. But now I'm getting into like fiction, nonfiction, historical stories, that kind of thing. And I'm reading like I think. Hold on a minute.
What genre
I
of
got my
fiction do
good
you like, Peter? What's really ringing your bell these days?
So I'm a big noir fan, classical noir and modern noir, and a lot of that's inspired by the Akashic Book series. They do a regional anthology for, I mean, man, just about everywhere from Seattle to like Haiti, New Delhi. Like they've got all over the world and all kinds of cities in the U.S. They do an anthology for each region that's focused around. Like the noir themes, dark crime, lots of moral ambiguity, as it were. So I'm reading a couple. I just finished the Las Vegas one. I just started Providence Noir now. I'm also reading A Head Full of Ghosts by Paul Tremblay. That's a Massachusetts guy. Shout out to Massachusetts. And I'm also the book I'm most excited about right now is The Whites by Harry Brandt, which is the same guy who did Clockers. He's writing under a pseudonym for this book, but actually Richard Price is his real name. That's what he wrote Clockers under. So The Whites is crazy lit. Characters on characters on characters. I mean, shit, it's like probably 90 people you got to keep track of in the first couple hundred pages. So highly recommend The Whites by Harry Brandt, aka Richard Price. Highly recommend the noir anthologies by Akashic Books, the publisher out of Brooklyn. Just great stuff.
Akashic. Oh, I knew that rang a bell. I think I know an author back in my day when I was out just becoming a published author. I think one of my let me not tell no lies, but I think one of my classmates, Kenji Jasper, who also had a book deal, might have published under Akashic Books, but I'd have to check on that, and I'm too lazy to do that kind of research. But either way, shout out to Kenji Jasper, writer extraordinaire. Came out with Dark back in 2000, 2001. Yes, we are that old. Don't tell me how old you were, how young you were, Peter. Nobody wants to hear that mess.
About to be 30, man. I'm coming up on a 3-0. I highly recommend Seattle Noir. I haven't read it yet, but because I've read so many of the other ones, I feel like I know you know the city so well, and every short story in the anthology takes place in a different neighborhood in Seattle. So you've
what
Capitol
neighborhoods of
Hill
mine?
is. I guarantee you that the neighborhood that you grew up in is for sure a chapter in that book, a short story in that book. So I mean,
Yes, it's got to be noir because that's where all the. Let me stop. I'm gonna cut it off. But no, the South End, Rainier Valley, represent.
the best noir stories actually take place in places that aren't the hood. That's a true fact. Like the more upscale, like wealthy neighborhoods, the best noir stories come out of like scandals in the with the upper crust and all that.
And they got all the resources to be doing dirt like that too. So absolutely, absolutely.
Right.
Okay, so people didn't come here to hear a reading pod, although I am very pleased to hear how you are catching up in your reading stuff. Because yeah, I mean, I guess it goes through ebbs and flows sometimes. Like for me, I remember when I was working for the man a couple years ago or last year, or whatever. I actually had time to read a little bit. I got a lot of reading done, and I still have some books I want to read. So we will definitely look into those once we are funded and I got some help around here. What are you watching? Are you watching anything, or are you just reading like a nerd?
Just reading pretty much. Playing, like I
Excellent.
said, playing Xbox. Mafia 3 was legit. If you ever want to be a black person and spray in a video game and spray a KKK meeting with an automatic weapon, there's your game. So it's real fun. But no, my wife is watching Westworld though. Really likes
Very
it so
interesting.
far.
I like it. I've been watching that. What does she think?
She I think she said she kind of got burnt out by like the third episode or something like that, but
It's
it
intense.
seems right in my wheelhouse, so I'm probably soon.
Yeah, you would like because so far it's like dark, moody. It's really confusing though. Like it definitely helps listening to the Watch podcast once again. Big shouts to Chris Ryan, Andy Greenwald. I mean, Andy Greenwald doesn't like Westworld as much as Chris Ryan does, but it's very cerebral. It makes you think. It's all about kind of like I mean, it's typical bad robot Jonathan Nolan stuff where it's bigger picture themes and how technology is kind of taking affecting our humanity and things of that nature. But it is really good and interesting. You don't know where it's going. I have no idea where this thing is going, but I will guarantee that there's probably going to be at least one more orgy in this season. There's been two flat out, no holds bars orgies. They make full use of premium cable. Bless their hearts.
Yeah, bless the hearts of premium cable, like the absolute revival that it's seen. Well, we've always had good TV on premium cable, but the last like 5 years or so have just been phenomenal. And I think one of the things that interests me most about Westworld is the scenery, because like my dad, a lot of it or all of it, I think, was filmed in southern Utah. And I'm a big fan of that part of the country, just in terms of picturesque like settings. Like I'll take, like that kind of backdrop over, let's say, like the woods or anything like that any day. And my dad, shout out to Pop, lives in Utah too, so there's that connection for me as well.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't usually I am kind of wondering about that type of stuff, like where like locations and things of that nature. But it's such an immersive world. At least I'm allowing myself to be bought in. I just never thought of it, like where it could be. I'm actually trying to figure out if the setting of the Westworld in their world is actually on a different planet or on like some sort of obscured version of Earth. That's what is kind of like the big scuttlebutt. And there are like Reddit threads and stuff, which I didn't even bother chasing down because obviously I don't have the time. But there's some really interesting. I don't know if scholarship's the right word, but a lot of interesting conjecture out there on on the message boards, among message board grinders, trying to figure out all the details of Westworld. It's pretty cool. Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
this is almost perfect timing. Jay Devlin's set to come on. We are going to invite him into our merry little band of cinemaphiles.
All right, I'm gonna pour myself another drink while you do that.
Okay, we are all right. So the invite has been set, and so basically, while Peter is getting super lit, and we're waiting Jay Devlin. Let's just talk about Jay Devlin a little. He takes this very, very seriously. He is also a friend of the pod, and actually helped me get my start on podding about Cinema Draft. I believe the first time I talked about Cinema Draft to an audience was on his podcast. He is the co-host of Mostly Sports. Mostly Sports is basically what you hear, mostly sports. They talk about a lot of like sports things going on, but then they diverge into movies, entertainment, TV. Our boy Jay is really into reality TV. We may even ask him about that. And as our topic this week will lend itself to some interesting responses. So we're very happy to have Jay Devlin as soon as he gets in here. And it looks like our boy Peter has fixed himself a drink. He's coming back. I hear him rumbling back there. And
We are
now that he's
refilled.
back, we're topped off. Topped off. All right. So this week's
Cheers.
So this week's main segment, we are cinema drafting this week. We're going to go, and since there's going to be three of us, we are drafting our three guilty pleasures. And now, what is considered a guilty pleasure? Well, movies that are generally considered bad, but that we love anyway. And y'all know how it goes by now. We alternate picks. When someone picks a movie, that movie is out of play. Let's give me one more second to make sure we get Jay Devlin in here. And in his absence, it looks like so I'm a little behind. So where are we on the over-unders? Who's the last winner? Was it me? Probably was me, wasn't it?
Well, it was you, but it wasn't the over-under. It was picks for not this past week in NFL, but the week before.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? In the interest of fairness, let's just here you send me an invite. Here's the invite. There you go. All right, click the link, Jay.
I think you should take the lead because you mopped the floor with me pretty thoroughly that last round of picks. I'll be honest. I was like I was like 1-5.
Well, no, I've got some catching up to because at one point you were +8 on me. Now I think I've got it down to what, +4 maybe?
No, I think you're +2.
I'm down to +2. Right, that's what I'm talking about. Okay.
I'm +2, but you narrowed the gap almost to the point where it's.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I just want to keep it within shouting distance. I mean, the season's only 17 weeks long. You're trying to run away with it.
It's already I can't believe I turned around, man. It's already week 9. It's crazy.
9. And will we be having our prop bets this week? Will you deign to join us, common folk, again?
Yeah, we are back. We are back in action. It's been a rough couple of weeks. We had a conference that I went to for work, and had a little bout of not feeling so great there for a while. But we are back in action for sure.
That's right. And I was traveling last week too. And I got my picks in fairly late, so no harm, no foul. And all right, so Jay's got the link. He can join us at his leisure. We are going to keep this party going. And all right, so I will lead off, and I'm going to take this one out of play, only because knowing me, it's pretty easy to figure. And actually, before I get into guilty pleasures, I'm just looking into a pleasure real quick. This, on my third monitor, in the corner of my eye, I mean, I've been so disinterested, but sometimes part-time, one-time, whatever, professional poker player. The World Series of Poker main event final table is going on right now. They are heads up. It is Qui Win versus Gordon Veo, and the styles can be any more different. Veo actually looks like he knows what he's doing, and Qui Win is just bullying and pushing this guy around with some typical aggression, and it's bothering the hell out of me. I mean, there's so many plays I want this guy to do that I just won't let him do. So I don't know. And in this time of me semi-stalling, Jay Devlin, welcome to the show.
Hold on. Better late than never, my man. As usual, I put a picture of my girlfriend down there since I'm hijacking her Gmail account to jump on here because I'm brand loyal to Yahoo. But what's going on? What have I missed? What's going on?
You're probably like the last person who's still brand loyal to Yahoo. It's being sold for parts right now.
Old school, Ed.
That's awesome.
Old school.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's right. And say hello to Peter, our co-host, Jay Devlin in the flesh.
Peter, great to meet you, brother. I've been listening to every podcast you guys have done. You guys have been killing it.
I know. I'm so glad you're here, man. This is going to be great.
And this will officially, as Peter joked earlier, but also I will be proud to announce to the whole world, this will proudly be our whitest podcast ever. I am very excited to hear from the other side of the tracks. Let's see what y'all thinking, what you're feeling, what your guilty pleasures are. I've already explained the rules to the audience. We were just about to pick, but since you are our guest, first time in the pod, you basically raised me on podcasting. You were my first, I think, official podcast appearance. Jay Devlin, you get to choose. You get to go first. Go ahead and pick your first guilty pleasure movie.
Well, I was gonna pimp out my show that I literally just left, but since you're gonna make me come right on and tell you my guilty pleasure, I'm gonna wait a little bit because I'm not sure I want people to know that my favorite guilty pleasure currently right now, we all have many, but it's probably Magic Mike Double XL.
Yes! Yes! 100 times yes! Sorry, I just blew out your speakers and listen to this podcast, but I am there for you. I support you 110%. Damn it.
I
Magic
appreciate
Mike
that.
I'll tell you.
XXL. Hell yes.
I'll tell you what, I haven't seen Magic Mike or Magic Mike XL, but listen, I love me some Channing Tatum. I'm not ashamed to admit it. He's a
He is a guilty pleasure in and of himself. I mean,
Isn't he entertaining and talented? Oh my goodness.
Except for the Nicholas Sparks crap that he's done, the rest of it's pretty solid. But Magic Mike Double XL is a story of a bunch of bros bonding, going on a road trip, having some drinks, meeting some women, and yeah, they strip at the end. All right, that's cool. But who can't get behind any of that stuff?
It's about the brotherhood, man. That's what it's all about. It's about the brotherhood.
Did we lose Peter?
Yeah, we lost Peter, but that's okay because oh man, that is wow. Guns blazing. Now, Jay, before you came on, I actually spent a good 2 or 3 minutes, big upping you and your show, talking about your show a little bit. So I've got you covered, but definitely we'll have you plug your stuff at the end of the show because we definitely want people to go support your podcast as well. But that is every time I talk to this guy, audience, listening, watching, every time I talk to this guy, he's just so inspiring. He's just such a shrewd guy. His taste, his style, his color. He's a guy you want to get to know, guys. Everyone, we'll definitely have to have you back on some other stuff. I'm really inspired by your first guilty pleasure, so I definitely feel well within my rights. The one I was always going to take off the top, definitely knock this one off the board. Y'all can't have it. Y'all know I love it. It is White Men Can't Jump. It's my second favorite movie after, of course, the non-guilty pleasure, just a straight up, bomb movie, Boomerang. White Men Can't Jump is amazing. It's fun. It's funny. It covers everything. There's race relations. There's great sex. There's actually some pretty decent basketball.
I have a question. Peter, welcome back, brother. You were missed.
Sorry.
You said guilty pleasure? What's so guilty about White Man Can't Jump is legendary, brother. There's nothing to feel guilty about there.
Yeah. So as far as that, it's fairly well made, kind of in a low tech sort of way. But you can't. It's not like Saving Private Ryan or anything. It's a fun movie. That's all it is. I feel guilty, I guess, for rating it as like my second favorite movie of all time. That's where it is in my heart.
Help me out, Pete. Pete, help me out here.
Yeah, no, that's a great movie. There's nothing guilty about that. As far as I think part of this, we wanted it to be like it's movies that you like that absolutely shit bombed at the box office, and I can't say whether or not it did. I'm not sure, but dude, great movie. Nothing to be ashamed of there.
Oh well, okay.
That's the way I'm looking at it. These are movies that you're almost embarrassed to like.
So mine wasn't embarrassing enough, huh? Okay, all right, fair enough.
Unless white guys dunking a basketball, that's more embarrassing for us.
No. The embarrassing thing was how low that rim was when he went up there to dunk it. He had his knees in the chain link.
Well, that's how it is. Like when we like growing up in the suburbs of Boston, we all had basketball nets. Like all of the white kids in the suburb, but they were literally 3 feet tall. So it's that's how it is. That's how we learn. We're hockey players. You know what I mean?
And you all had Larry Bird jerseys on.
That whole Northeast flow. I feel you. All right. So I humbly withdraw White Men Can't Jump from guilty pleasures. That's fine. I will substitute it with a truly fairly terrible, very period specific 80s movie. I don't understand how my mom let me see this in the movie theater or whatever, but it is Mannequin.
Okay.
It's the movie that put Kim Cattrall on the map. Does that movie hold up today? This guy is basically, having this fantasy with a mannequin, and it comes to life, and it's just, the 80s were a simpler time, but it's not a great movie. It's a fun movie for a young lad in preteens or whatever who's seen this at the theater. Or whatever. I just thought it was kind of cool, kind of a fun little story, and then they had the whole camping out at the theater all night, and I don't know, I just kind of enjoyed it. It's a really campy movie with big hair, terrible fashions, even though they worked at a department store. I enjoyed it. Mannequin.
Do you find yourself walking aimlessly around Macy's, just staring at particular mannequins, hoping they'd wake up for you, or have you grown out of it?
You know, it's the one thing that movie did give us is a great song. That whole "Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now." That song stands the test of time.
Who's that? Starship?
He probably.
I think that's Starship. Okay, that's a good one. That's a very good one. Pete, what do you
Yeah.
got, buddy?
All right, so I think so. If we're going with like just pure guilty pleasure flicks, I have to go with The Devil Wears Prada because I love that movie. I did so. Okay, so here's my story with The Devil Wears Prada. So we went on a cruise, like my family and I. I was probably like 21, 22 years old, something like that. And that was kind of like I had just started really learning how to like pound booze then. So my father and I would go out like every night in the cruise and just get absolutely hammered. And then we would I would spend the day like just lazing around in my room in the cruise, and they played The Devil Wears Prada like back to back to back to back to back to back to back on the cruise channel, and I watched that shit probably like 10 times on that cruise, and I've loved it ever since. Like, just everybody is great in that movie. It's total
pre-Entourage.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of a bitch in that movie, to be honest with you, but everybody is great in that movie, and it's total chick flick about chick topics and all that stuff. But I gotta be honest, like, I love it. Great movie.
Would you consider that guilty? I mean, it's an excellent performance from. I mean, I'm not gonna nitpick over guilt anymore, which is fine. I enjoy that movie. I think I might have owned it for a while, actually. I mean, Anne Hathaway. I'm sorry, all you haters, stay at home, stay ass at home. Anne Hathaway is an American treasure. All right, she is wonderful. She can sing. She kind of dances. She is a great actress, and yes, we even see her boobs in Havoc. What more do you want? She's American treasure, and her Catwoman was perfection. Batman was the third Batman reboot. Love Anne Hathaway. Yes, I'm there for it. I'm totally there for it. What do you think, Jay Devlin?
I mean, I have nothing to add to that movie. I mean, that's pretty. I mean, The Devil Wears Prada. I have nothing to add. That's fantastic.
I don't know if that's positive or negative, but I'm tired of people hating on Anne Hathaway.
Well, see, that's a whole different story. I'm not an Anne Hathaway fan in any way.
Annie Hathaway. Annie Hathaway's to get my Key and Peele on. Oh my goodness, her and Liam Neeson's.
I mean, she's like a 6 that opens up her mouth and becomes a 4 instantly.
Oh, heresy. And if you see this, when you see this, because we're Cinema Draft's gonna blow up, I am here for you. I'm still single as a prangle, all right? I'm here for you. I'm there. I will defend you against all haters, all right?
Well, let's segue from a 6 into a 10. That would be my girl Kate Hudson, and more importantly, the 10 in this equation is Matthew McConaughey's hair in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Boom.
There you go. That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, man. Good to see you, baby. Matt McConaughey here, man. Love that movie, baby.
What was that run? He had a run with that movie. He had a couple with Kate Hudson, and he did one with Sarah Jessica Parker. Failure to Launch. All these romantic comedies. You want to talk about damn near submarining your career just to get a paycheck? That dude just entrenched himself in rom-com hell, and he was, and for lack of for lack of a better comparison, he was good at it. He was decent. I mean, he made some check, but he lost all respect in the industry until he had the reconnaissance.
On a snow day, I will watch Ghosts of Girlfriends Past 10 straight times.
Oh God, that was terrible. That was truly terrible.
Michael Douglas was amazing in that movie. Breckin Meyer. I mean, that is who's who of thespians. Great actors.
Yeah, okay. No, that was a really good movie for sure.
I enjoyed How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. That was good. I agree. Peter?
Yeah. So far, I'm on board with everything that everyone has said. Pretty much, all like guilty pleasures. But I think either these movies actually aren't like that worthy of being guilty of, or we all just have really good taste.
Yeah, you know what? We're among friends here. We're in the trust tree. We're in the nest.
It sounds like we're all just really in touch with our feelings.
That's right. Exactly.
You know what? And I'm proud to say I am a new age brother. And so being in the trust tree, in the nest, I'm definitely taking this one off the board because I know one of y'all bastards would take it off if I don't. So it's probably the most obvious one out there. And some people might not even say it's bad. Some people might say it's a camp classic. The one, the only, Showgirls.
Wow.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
You know what? Damn it! I'm gonna clap for myself. That is an inspired pick. That's the one that's the go-to for everyone's guilty pleasures. I mean, because Showgirls is truly, truly terrible, and being too young to really understand how terrible it was, I enjoyed the fact that there was so much nudity, so much dance, and so much bad acting that it was almost elevated to high art. Elizabeth Berkley, who has gone on to do other things, I'm sure, will forever be known as Noni, the showgirl with a dream, the one who took no shit from anyone, who danced as aggressively as she talked, who just really was out to make it in this really twisted Paul Verhoeven world. And only could a guy at the height of his action powers have pushed that through the studio system, because it is a truly terrible movie that is eminently watchable when it's late at night and you have some time on your hands, something of which I do not know the last several months. But it is a fun, campy movie with the hair, with the dancing, with the cat fighting, with Glenn Plummer as the DJ. What the fuck was that? It was really, really a fun, guilty pleasure experience, not to be confused with anything that is actually good. Showgirls. Scene.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I remember watching it because you want to see the girl from Saved by the Bell, like, kind of look sexy. She destroyed her fucking career. And what the director was the Basic Instinct guy. So you're like, all right, cool. There's going to be some hot, sexy shit going on. Yeah, I watched it once. She looked good. If it was on at the same time as like Rocky 4, I'm going to watch Rocky 4 probably.
Well, is that the true test of a guilty pleasure movie? Like, a guilty pleasure movie won't trump a good movie ever if they're on at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, Rocky 4 is usually like my barometer for all things. Like, do I want to watch Rocky 4 or do I want to watch that? That's my baseline.
Rocky 4 is excellent.
Rocky 4 is excellent, and I love the comparison there too. Like Showgirls for me, that was like the scandalous movie, because I was like, I don't know exactly how old I was when it came out, but I remember there was the whole NC-17 controversy, and so it was like when I was young, it was like, ooh, Showgirls, like that's like porno before you knew what porno was, and it was kind of like this forbidden thing where it's like, you kids can't watch Showgirls because that got an NC-17. I don't know if it ended up with an NC-17, but I think it
it totally did. But it was that and like Henry and June, some foreign film that was like hella sexy.
But what's funny about that is like you can, like, what 10-year-old kids put out on YouTube now is like more worthy of an NC-17 than Showgirls was. Like, it's how content has matured so quickly, and how it's like, you can go on the comment section of any given website. It's way more offensive or profane or whatever, No,
Westworld has had 2 orgies. 2 in 5 episodes. I'm saying, I mean, nothing like it was back then. Nothing. Okay, so then, Peter, I believe it is your turn.
All right. I don't know. We're kind of taking a hard left out of where we were, but I'm going to go with Starship Troopers for this next one, because like, I love that movie, but that movie sucks. Like, it's not a good movie, that's like the Rocky 4 baseline for Jay. Like, that's like Starship Troopers for me. I will always watch that. That's like my baseline for what's on TV Saturday afternoon or whatever. I love Starship Troopers.
For Paul Verhoeven, I think the master of the guilty pleasure.
That's Paul. That's him too. That's the same guy.
Same guy. He had quite a run in the late '90s of just putting out quality cinematic crap.
Yeah, no, that movie is not good. But something about like the action scenes where they go to Planet Klandathu, and they take on all these bugs. And shout out to the most random and crazy cameo in that movie. I like that one. It's kind of different from what we've been talking about, but I dig Starship Troopers.
I mean, that's Denise Richards in her prime, right there. That's probably pre-Wild Things. So like, you saw her in Starship Troopers. You got a little nibble. You got the appetizer. You go on to watch Wild Things, and it's like, fuck, Denise Richards, piece of ass. before she married Charlie Sheen and got fucking crazy. So I like that's a good call. That's a really good call.
They had a reality show, didn't they, Jay? I mean, you being the master of all reality things. I mean,
She did. She had a show on E. Correct.
I watched it. It was one season, right? I think I watched it. Was it what was it called again? Something Sheen, Being Sheen, or
It was a train wreck, is what it was. It was not good. For me to not like something on a reality TV show, it must be bad because I like everything.
Oh man, and let's give it. I mean, how are we feeling so far? Just as a quick aside about this season of The Real World, set in, of course, my hometown of Seattle. How you feeling about it?
I've not seen 1 second of it.
Are you boycotting it?
No, I did. I stopped watching.
Are they piling up?
I stopped watching MTV after the Backstreet Boys stopped making videos.
I thought you watched The Real World. Oh, you watched The Bachelor. That's what it is. Oh, you're so grown up now. You watch The Bachelor.
Bro, The Bachelor is MIT, and The Real World is like Gordon Phillips Beauty Academy.
You know what? That's all right. I'll be the lone Real World stan over here. I watch it. I watch it like out of Pavlovian habit. It's like, oh, Real World ad, I must watch. Real World's on, I must record. Click record. I just can't help it. I mean, I may have missed maybe 2 seasons. I don't do the road rules stuff. I like them living in close quarters, hooking up, getting angry at each other, breaking shit, and getting kicked out the house. That's the shit I live for. I don't know why. It's just like I can just have it on while I'm bouncing my checkbook or whatever, and just feel some light catharsis of any like my inner teenager. It's awesome. Real World's awesome. My guilty pleasure.
Are they showing off Seattle in a positive light?
Not bad, I guess. Where they live is pretty dope. I heard they lived off of Pier 70, so right on the water in Elliott Bay. I mean, the view is just ridiculous.
I mean, dude, if you can't have an NBA basketball team, at least you have The Real World.
Hey, shots fired. We have 2 separate arenas deals going on right now, damn it. Trust our process, okay, Philly? Trust our process.
Well, as it so happens, too, the 2 best Real World series ever were both of our hometowns, Seattle and then Boston, like way back in 93, 94, whatever it was.
With maybe the first Vegas as a close third, I must say.
I actually play basketball. I play basketball occasionally with one of the guys who was on Real World Boston, Cyrus.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
how is he a player? He's like my age, isn't he?
Yeah, he's our age. In his 40s.
Okay.
And yeah, what's that, Pete?
That's like that. Where they lived. If you want, it was like a renovated firehouse in Houston, and that was like one of the coolest spots I can ever remember in Real World. That shit was super legit.
I don't know, dude. I'm gonna go. Not that it seems like we've hijacked this into the best Real Worlds, which is fine. The Real World LA was fantastic to me.
Oh, Tammy, where she I feel unsafe, and he tried to assault me, and
then crazy David, the comedian, who then kind of became famous a little bit afterwards. You had like the
House Party 3,
House Party 3, the white country boy who was a singer who might have been a racist, but he didn't know if he was a racist. You know, you got a drunk Irish guy. I mean, this is the perfect storm of casting. They threw a perfect game.
I totally forgot about Real World LA, but you're absolutely right. That the early days of Real World, when they were still figuring out what it was and like what the best dynamics of having a group together were, pretty much like the best days. Like San Francisco was pretty. Does someone have their? Oh, okay. I think you got your like a window up or something.
Who, me?
Yeah. I'm getting some. I'm hearing myself. No. Okay.
But no, so here's the thing. Like Real World New York, Real World San Francisco, Real World LA, there was actually like social issues that were talked about, and they brought these casts together to actually have conversation. And then when Las Vegas hit, the tipping point was like the Trishelle threesome in the house is where the tipping point came, where the entire series just turned into like sex and arguing. And then and
that's when they lost it.
That's where they lost me in there. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, well, that does kind of fit into our theme of guilty pleasures, but whose turn is it now? I believe it's
is it me?
I think it's you, Jay Devlin. Your third and final pick. Choose wisely.
All right, I'm gonna let you go ahead. I'm debating between 2, and I'm gonna decide while you're going.
Okay, so I am going to do. This almost seems too obvious again, but I'm going to do Wild Things. It's awesome. It's very much sexy time. I think it's season 2. Then notice there's running of my of my guilty pleasure. So I'm really born up in the 90s. I don't know what it is. Must be like high school and college. But yeah, it was 1995. I used to own the DVD. Nev Campbell, Denise Richards. I mean, with getting in. Matt Dillon. Kind of crazy.
I mean, that was a who's of Florida. It was hot. It was sweaty. There was alligators. I mean, it was fantastic. That's a very good call. Yeah, your all your picks are along the lines of like there's a lot of skin going on in the 90s. Good for you.
I mean, the 90s were crazy time for a young Eduardo.
Since you said this is the whitest podcast you've ever had, I was debating between a really white movie or a really black movie. So okay. I'm actually going to go with, this is one of my all-time favorite movies ever made. My girlfriend makes fun of me every time it's on TV. Like I stop what I'm doing and I watch it. I love it. The Best Man.
Oh God, that's not guilty pleasure at all. That's like.
It is when you're a guy and it is when you've watched it 40 times.
Wow, so you're trying to tell me you've seen The Best Man more than I've seen The Best Man. That's awesome.
Oh,
Jay Devlin,
Strange. I mean, the Best Man has got it all. Again, I guess my weakness is bromances. You know, anytime you get a bunch of bros together, they're hanging out, they're going through some shit, and they come out the other end smelling like roses, I'm in.
That card game, man. That card game was great. That was some real shit, some real spiel right there.
Agreed.
Have you seen The Best Man, Peter?
I haven't actually, but I do love a good romance.
Oh, it's great. And then like the theme song has got like a collaboration of of R&B singers. You got Tyrese. You got Genuine. Do you guys watch Parks and Rec? Genuine?
Yeah, Retta.
Genuine?
Love Parks and Rec. Love Parks and Rec. That's a great show. Is The Best Man, is that the Omar Epps flick from like 96, 97 or whatever it was?
Omar Epps, Tay Diggs, same thing.
Yeah. No, I saw that. It's been a long time.
I've never seen them both in the same room at the same time.
Or Mike Tomlin and Omar Epps. That's an on-running joke. Okay, so then Peter, I guess you have to bring us in for a landing. What's your third guilty pleasure?
All right. This is a bad one.
Oh yes, great start.
All right. I'm gonna go with Fever Pitch with Drew Barrymore.
Oh no,
that's not.
I know it's so bad.
It's good. It's good. I enjoyed it.
This is the first. All right. That's the first one that's made me embarrassed to be on this show. You win.
Yeah, I like. So I'm a Boston guy. I'm a Red Sox guy. I was there in 2004 when it was, when they won it all. So there's that sentiment attached to it. But I fully acknowledge that movie was just tremendously awful. But I still love it. I can't help myself.
I mean, worst adaptation of a book ever, because it was an English book, I believe, about soccer, English soccer.
That was a book? Are you
kidding me?
That was a
book. That was a bit about, but it was based around an English Premier League soccer team. And then, like all Americans, we think, well, let's just Americanize it. We'll get a talk show host and a former drug addict, and boom, there you go.
I guess an English Premier League team that was like in relegation would probably be the closest comparison to the Red Sox back then.
Agreed. I like it. No, those are good ones. I mean, this is.
Oh, go ahead.
I told some people I was going to have this conversation with you tonight. Like on my show tonight, I was, on the breaks we were talking about it. The guilty pleasure thing is something that can be talked about forever. I mean, it's such a great topic.
Oh, yeah, guilty pleasures just in general?
Yeah, just guilty, like movie-wise. Like, because everybody has, you go back to the 80s. Practically every 80s movie is a guilty pleasure in a great way, in like the best way possible, like some kind of wonderful, you know, any John Hughes movie.
Because through the passage of time, none of those on their own kind of stand up, but through the lens of nostalgia, they are, you know, pleasures, guilty, you know, however time appropriate for when we grew up.
Absolutely, and a lot of times they take you like it's a singular feeling that you get because you go back to how you felt when you watched that movie, and you were like a coming of age 15-year-old boy. You know, you're watching Showgirls, you know, in the dark in your parents' basement, and I'll just stop right there. I don't even know what you're doing. But, you know.
I was about to say, first of all, you're waxing way too nostalgic. That like Bob Costas on my damn podcast. Way too smooth for this roughshod podcast of ours. And then he takes the turn and he takes. Thank you very much, Jay Devlin. Thank you for bringing us home on this segment. We had a lot of fun, and basically the way you're talking about how you guys are talking about movies during the break and everything is a great lead into you know why we have the Cinema Draft game and basically what it is. So basically, Cinema Draft is the fancy sports version of movies. It is basically you know taking 10 actors who all have a dollar value. You have $100K budget and try to fit them all in. 10 actors, no more nor less. You have one of each of the three release types: wide, 2,000 screens and up; limited, between 500 and 2,000 screens; and then platform, 500 screens and less. You must have one of each. You have 2 headliners for each film. They're 40% more. And also, give you an example, if you say Suicide Squad earns 100 million, you get 1 point per million for wide releases. Margot Robbie gets 100 points, while Will Smith gets 140. And mute yourself real quick, Jay, because I think we're getting a bit of an echo. See if that'll cure it.
Yeah.
No, there you go. And okay, there we go. Sorry about that. And then also let you know it's free to play. We are in open beta. It is live. We have over $200 in prizes this week, so definitely come check it out. And now we're coming to Jay Devlin's favorite part of the program, which is the shot list. Go ahead and speak now.
Thanks, man. No, I mean, I'm just literally, I've been in Philadelphia the last couple weeks, and I flew it back to LA today, and I really haven't had a chance to look at the pricing, but now that I'm looking at it, I think this is just my first thought. I think you underpriced Doctor Strange.
And you know what? I'm thinking the same thing too. After, of course, so we have to build these out about a day before any real kind of projections come in. And so I kind of do the best I can. I mean, it's one of those. I mean, Marvel is going to slay. Marvel always slays, what have you. But it's such a strange trailer. Like no pun
it is.
That you kind of don't know where to go. I mean, I'm kind of inclined to go 30K. At first, my first thought was going to be 30K starting. Like the way I build up these values, start the lowest actor in the rung and work my way up. I was thinking about starting at 30K. I wasn't sure. I haven't been really feeling the buzz. Like the ads are everywhere. That's one thing, but so are Infernos. Okay, and look how that shit turned out. So I was trying to be a little conservative here. You know, also
Inferno.
So I don't know. I gave it 26. I gave I think I gave Benedict Cumberbatch, the star of it, the top salary of the week at $26,500. So you think that was a bit low?
That's low. All I know is I got a text from you today talking about $65 million openings, and I mean, if this thing is going to open even like 50. 26 is I mean, then you have to have the two. You have to have the 2 headliners from Doctor Strange, and then go from there. Because the other thing about the Indian movie is gonna be strong again. It just will. You know,
and
so
somewhat
I think
still affordably priced. I mean, you can fit in some more. I think it's called Idil High Shkeel. You got that right?
That was pretty good.
Thank you for practicing. So you don't want to have a lot of that. That's definitely the decider. But also with Doctor Strange, I also think this might be one of those weekends where the box office expands. Sometimes it can be like total cannibalization. It's like it's either one or the other. One must stop. Kind of like last week where okay, Medea's like, all right, bump this dumb shit. We're just going to, take the box office for second straight week. You're just going to have to take it Inferno. Although I have to kind of admit, I'm not exactly sure the people who come out to see Inferno are exactly coming to see Medea. But either way, Medea left its imprint on the box office. Next weekend, or this weekend coming up for this game, it's one of those weekends where I feel like, okay, so we're going to have 65 million for Doctor Strange. We're probably going to have 30 to 35 million for I was going to say Storks. For Trolls, which is the new animated release, I think, from DreamWorks Animation with Justin Timberlake and Anna Kendrick voicing some of the some of the roles. So I think it's gonna be one of those weeks where honestly it's gonna expand. So that's why I thought 26,000, a little conservative, but still there could be a serious threat from Trolls coming out. As that leads me to the A list, which is these actors. These are two actors you'll definitely want on your call sheet. And of course, I'm going to recommend the lower price of the two headliners. My boy Chiwetel Ejiofor, the man with the name. 20, and actually I had him at 20. He's actually at 25,800. Really hefty. That's that's over a quarter of your budget. It's a wide release. You're gonna need at least one Doctor Strange, so why not go for the cheaper headliners to get the 40% bonus? You can try and headliner stack it, but it's going to cost you more than half your budget. And the winning call sheet will definitely come from one headliner from Doctor Strange and then a creative mix of some of the other movies out in the marketplace. Also, I recommend Justin Timberlake from Trolls. Once again, Trolls is going wide. It's going super wide, like 3,000 screens plus. He's 16,800. It's bright, it's animated, and it's based off of a highly valuable marketing product. So it seriously could give Doctor Strange a run for its money. I'm not sure it's going to give it 65 million run, but I would not be surprised at all if Trolls debuted at 40 million this weekend. So you definitely want to have a piece of that. What do you think of the A list so far, Jay Devlin?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you can't afford to have two people from Doctor Strange on there. If it opens at 65 million, you think Trolls is going to do 40 million, huh?
I think it really could. I haven't seen so there's one site which I shall leave unnamed, which I go to try to get an idea of some of these projections, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if I see it pop up there tomorrow. They usually come out with stuff on Wednesday. Trolls at 30 million plus. Like, seriously, but there's nothing really else animated out there that's viable. Storks is on its last legs. I think it's got the whole marketplace to itself.
I guess my point is, so like from 1 week to the next, last week, what did Medea do? Like 15, 16 million?
17 point something.
17, yeah. So, and then Inferno did 15 million. So that's 32 million. So you're telling from the top two movies. So you're telling me in 1 week's time, the top two movies are going to go from doing 32 million combined to 105 million combined?
Welcome
People
to
are that
Cinema
excited.
No, sir, and also welcome to November, quite honestly. So October, I think I mentioned this before. September and October are kind of general dumping grounds for movies, especially September. September is just god awful. They just dump the movies they don't really want in September. October's been decent in recent years, but it's still kind of bad. But then once you get to November, you're getting towards holiday season, and so that's why pushing it earlier and earlier, kind of like how summer's creeped out from like June to like April. So same kind of concept here. It's like they expanded the holiday season for the first weekend in November, and yeah, they're going to show up in droves.
Okay. No, I mean, you have a lot more experience with this stuff than I do. I know the holiday season is big for movies. That just seems like a huge jump. And the Doctor Strange movie, I've seen the trailer 50 times. I still have no idea what that movie's about. That's why I was surprised when I texted you that 65 million number. I'm like, really? It's doing that much? That's partially why you take the under. I'll take the under. Okay. I'll take the under. And our weekly $20 bet.
All right.
You're setting the line at 65 million.
65 million.
Unprecedented. I'll even give you 2-to-1 odds. If you win, you get $40. If I win, I get $20.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, and I need that too. How much am I in the hole for? Like 50, 60?
You get 2-to-1 odds this week, and I got under 65 million.
Okay, excellent. All right, I'll take those odds. So next part of the shot list is co-starring, and these are some values you may want to look out for this weekend. And as previously mentioned, I am offering you Aishwarya Rai Bachchan. I'm sure I butchered that. She is a former Miss World. She's also the star and the headliner in I Dil Hai Mushkil, Indian sensation that came out of nowhere for over 2.2 million on only 302 screens last weekend. It has had a significant price bump. It has gone up, I think, 2,000 or 3,000. She is now worth 9,100 in platform release. It dominated the box office in its release type, and it's probably got only another 1 or 2 weeks with stellar results for you to capitalize on. So get it while you can. So even a 50% drop will get you 10 to 11 points, as in the platform release, we award 1 point per 100,000. What do you think about the indie movie? I know you're chomping at the bit.
I am going to definitely play a few people from this film, and then on Monday I'm going to go out and get some chicken tikka masala with the money that I win from Cinema Draft.
There you
I'm
go.
going to celebrate, because that movie is pure gold.
Pure gold. Bollywood meeting Hollywood.
Can't pronounce it. But didn't the guy that won last week, he won by 60 points?
He won by 60 points because he had a six-pack of I Dil Hai Mushkil. I was flabbergasted.
Wow.
And he still had room to stick in there a freaking one from Inferno, and it wasn't even the headliner. It kind of blew me away. Steel Card 30, if you're listening to this, you're a legend. You're our first blowout winner of the future presentation. You're welcome to come on the podcast and discuss your process. Because he's a newcomer. He signed up, like, I think on the day of, and I was really impressed by his call sheet. Well done, sir. Well done.
Impressive. Very impressive.
Very impressive. And also in your co-starring, I'd also recommend Abraham Clinkscales from Boo! From Medea Halloween.
That movie is dead. Stop. Don't do that. Don't recommend a movie that's dead, because people will play somebody from that movie, and that movie, Halloween, is over.
I'm going to play something from that movie, damn it.
Stop
15,200. We're going to stop disrespecting the hustle god. And by the hustle god, I mean Tyler freaking Perry. And all I'm saying is that we've doubted this guy. I mean, I doubted him before his movie came out. I was like, this thing's going to do okay, but not that much. It'll probably come in third, took first. And you might as well fade it the second weekend, came back, took first. I'm not saying it's going to take first this weekend. It would be far and away, nearly impossible feat. But please don't tell me Tyler's not coming for his money. If he had 17 million with only a drop off of 40% from the weekend before, I would be surprised if he made 10 million. At 10 million, damn it, it might be worth it.
Under.
I don't care.
$20. I'll take the under.
No, I can't bet on everything. You're about to say start. Yeah,
You were so confident there.
What's that?
I said you were so confident.
No, I mean, well, only one bet per week, damn. Only one bet per week. But no, I mean, I'm fairly confident that Tyler's going to come for his money. I'm still thinking he's going to do at least 10 or 11 million. I mean, his Legion, it should be running out of steam, absolutely. But I'd be highly surprised if it went less than 50% drop. So I'm recommending Abraham Clinkscales for the second co-star. And as far as the cutting room floor, damn it, just skip these losers. All Keeping Up with the Joneses, it's a dead film running, and all Kevin Hart at limited release. And quite honestly, at any release type, this movie's run is done. Comedy concert movies don't hit for very much. It's ripped all its box office it can. It's pretty much dead in the water. Do you have any ones to add to the cutting room floor, Jay Devlin?
No. I think you pretty much nailed it. I wanted to just quick circle back, if it was cool, to Rocky IV.
Okay.
And, how much would, had Cinema Draft existed back during the Cold War, how much would Sylvester Stallone have cost when that movie debuted?
So in 1984 currency, which is probably about 20% less than our current dollar. Wow, Rocky IV. I mean, depends on what's coming out.
$90,000 for Stallone, then you have 10,000 left to pick your other 9 guys.
So far, so in the history of Cinema Draft, or at least in the history of Box Office Fantasy, which was the working title under which I was testing the game, the highest total salary I think we've ever had was Harrison Ford at I think he topped $40K for the first weekend of Star Wars Episode 7. So I would have to say, I mean, and that movie went on to do $1 billion. I mean, I think Rocky IV in today's value probably would have done $1.5 billion, something like that. So I'd probably give him a good 42,000. Ain't nobody messed with Stallone in the 80s or 90s. I mean, ain't nobody messed with him.
And when Turner and Hooch came out, would Hooch have been available as someone to purchase? Or would you like, you don't...
only if Hooch had an IMDb page. If Hooch had an IMDb page, we'd be all over it. If IMDb existed back then, of course.
I have a lot of questions, buddy. A lot of questions.
Excellent. All right, so we've set our over/under, and Doctor Strange, 65 million this weekend, and Peter, feel free to join us back. I know this is the part where your eyes glaze over a little bit, but we are definitely hardcore devotees of the game that you helped design. We play off your brilliant, beautiful design. What do you think about Doctor Strange this weekend? Are you going to pick the over or the under, 65 million?
My dude, Doctor Strange is not making the over. I mean, let's just be totally clear. Like, there's no way, not in a million years. It's just not happening. Yeah, like, I mean, Halloween's over, and if my eyes are glossed over, it's because of the rum, not. I love the game. I still love the game. But no, I have no. So Doctor Strange is funny because it's one of the only Marvel movies, or I think it's is it a Marvel movie? No. Yes, it is.
I think it is. Yeah.
That's one of the only Marvel movies that's come out in like 10, 20 years that has not had it's had really no fanfare compared to the others. So I mean, I don't know. I generally, as Eduardo knows, I really don't fuck with these kind of movies, and I will super take the under.
Unmute yourself there, Ed. We can't read lips.
Fair enough. It actually was. I was trying to tell you that you might.
I think you might. There you go.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I think we might have some feedback on Jay's side, but yeah. We know you're not like a big, we know you're not like a big Marvel guy. That's fair. But and I'm hesitant about taking the over. I'm not sure exactly what the appetite of it is. I mean, these movies definitely depend on word of mouth. But one thing that Marvel has shown, and kind of like how I will stop disrespecting the hustle god Tyler Perry, I'm gonna stop doubting Marvel. I mean, when they took a property I'd never even heard of, really, the Guardians of the Galaxy, and turned it into my action movie of the summer like 2 years ago that I saw in D-Box like 2 or 3 times, dragged the girlfriend at the time to go see it too. I mean, I'm not going to doubt them at all. Like, if they can crank out 70 million off this, I mean, if anyone can, they can. So I'm going to put my faith in the Marvel machine. I'm going to take the over, and we're going to see what happens.
Yeah, but Guardians of the Galaxy was fun. That's the difference. Like, that's a fun movie with it. Like, Chris Pratt was great. This Doctor Strange thing looks way too serious. They look like
we didn't know what it was though back then. I mean, we didn't know what Doctor Strange. I mean, what Guardians of the Galaxy was when it first came out, and we don't really know what Doctor Strange is either. So it's biting every bit of Inception possible, which pisses me off. I'm still gonna go see it.
Under 50 million is my call. I'm saying it does 46 million.
Boom! 46 million. Y'all heard it here first. Well, all right. Well, let's bring this plane in for a landing. It's been another excellent hour with great guests. Well, let's give Jay Devlin a Cinema Draft welcome, or thank you for showing up on the show. Plug your stuff, Jay. What are you into? What are you about?
So I've a show out here in LA called Mostly Sports. We're on iHeartRadio, UBN Radio, iTunes, Stitcher, Tinder, Grindr, Match.com, everything. Just put Mostly Sports in the Google machine, and some good stuff will pop up, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I'd like to thank our steady co-host, Peter, coming back in out of the cold of the Palouse. Welcome back, Peter. Glad to have you back.
Yeah, no, I'm just happy to be here and happy to be the only person who ever lived in the Palouse who also designed a daily fantasy app ever, period.
Fingers crossed, because the imitators are coming. They're coming.
Yeah, well,
That's excellent.
Yeah, I'm just glad to be here, and shout out to Jay's podcast also. Mostly Sports is great. Both of you guys the chemistry is phenomenal, and really good stuff. And the first time I had ever listened was when Ed was on, and then from there it's I've listened here and there as well, and highly recommend. Much
appreciated, man. Thank you very much. Thank you both of you for having me on. Thank you.
No,
Mike Stavati, he's
As usual, you're welcome anytime. In addition to for people who just listen to the weekly hour long, we also do micropods on the weekends, around the weekends after the call sheets have locked, so we can see other people's call sheets and predict the weekend, as well as after things are wrapped up. So we have some analysis. Jay Devlin's always been great to lend us his thoughts and his strategy. No one takes this game as seriously as him, not even as creative. So we thank you for making yourself available. This is awesome.
Well, hey, I'm gonna go turn all the lights off and pull the shades down and go watch Wild Things.
Yeah, that's right. The way nature intended, damn it. All right, so where can you find CinemaDraft on that note? You can find us at cinemadraft.co. Sign up for the free beta. You can also follow us on Twitter at PlayCinemaDraft, Facebook, CinemaDraft, Instagram at PlayCinemaDraft. Damn it, give us back our CinemaDraft Instagram, Medium / at CinemaDraft, and we even have a Pinterest. Please also subscribe at your iTunes, Google Music, SoundCloud, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. We are live this week once again with $200 plus of prizes this weekend. Go to cinemadraft.co to sign up. We have the feature presentation, which everything kicks off at 10 p.m. Pacific on Thursdays. Theater counts lock for ultimate certainty at 6 p.m. that same day, with the game running 4 hours later. $70 to first in the feature presentation. Totally free to play. Tell a friend to tell a friend. All right, results are 3 p.m. Pacific on Mondays, and that is going to be our show this time. Thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks for tuning in once again, and we will see you at the movies.